6th of May 2021 Holyrood Parliamentary Elections. So now is the time for announcements from those MSPs who have decided to step down and make way for fresh faces to take on the responsibilities. So far, 10 have said they will no longer sit in our Scottish Parliament. Graciousness must be extended to all who have served in our Parliament, even if they hold opposing views to your own. John Finney, Greens; Elaine Smith, Labour; Neil Findlay, Labour; Ruth Davison, Conservative; and from the SNP, Bruce Crawford, Richard Lyle, James Dornan, Gail Ross, Michael Russell and Stuart Stevenson. There is opportunity here for the SNP and for the other political parties. For the SNP, it is a golden opportunity. For supporters of the SNP, it is a golden opportunity. For independent supporters, it is a platinum opportunity. Get all of these 10 seats filled with SNP MSPs and the pressure on the Westminster government will be overwhelming. 52% in polls now want independence. We all need to work to increase that to an unassailable, say, 60%. There is an argument that says other independence parties vying for list votes would be good for independence. The fear is that it would merely confuse ordinary voters. If 100% of people gave their 2 votes to the SNP, they would win all the seats.
Yeah, there's been a lot of discussion about whether the current electoral system, and I was on the Government Commission that reviewed it more than 10 years ago, well over 10 years, 15, 16 years ago. There's some argument that it doesn't work well if you're a big majority party. You actually lose seats rather than win them the more you use your second vote for your same party in the same region, and therefore it would be better to have other parties who are supporting independence chosen by SNP voters. These things are always worth discussing, but it sounds complicated to me, as we used to say in Ayrshire. You know, if 100% of people voted SNP, you get 100% of seats.
The constituency vote. Current polling for the 2021 election indicates that the SNP command more than 50% of the total Scottish vote. Labour 14%, Conservative 26%, Liberal Democrats 7%, Greens 3%. Regional vote polling is very similar. Danger surrounds. Danger, impatient actions. Danger, stupid actions. Danger, complacency. Danger, watch out, everyone is watching, waiting for every slip, any minor problem that can be blown up out of all proportion. Anyone who is for independence needs to be for the SNP. No infighting. Nicola Sturgeon is our First Minister. She is taking us to where we want to go. You can build the case for independence. 1. Write with a pen and paper, not the computer. Write a list of all the people you know. Everyone. Everyone. Family, friends, acquaintances, colleagues, people you meet in the shops and businesses, people you have not seen for a long time. Contact each of the people you have written on your list and ask them a question. What do you think of the idea of an independent Scotland? Listen to what they say. Resist the urge to argue, should they not respond in the way you want. Whatever they say, you ask another question. Why do you say that? Keep listening and asking the above question. Resist the urge to correct, argue or answer questions which you do not know the answer to. Better say, I will find out for you. Write their question down. Take them seriously. Their opinion is as important as yours. Make a written note of their responses. Some days later, make sure that they get some professional printed material explaining the points they have raised. Take your time. Saftly catchy monkey. The SNP have great materials. Scotland the Brief from Business Scotland. The national newspaper fact check. The national newspaper big enough. Ian Smith and Harold Wilson were in crisis talks when Rhodesia declared its unilateral declaration of independence in 1965. That was the first time the phrase was used. However, other countries have tried to become independent before and after 1965. Here is a list of them. Of those 28 countries, only 13 have international recognition. 4 failed to get independence. Scotland needs proper independence, that is internationally recognised. The European Union require that. Some may argue that Scotland does not need the European Union. The European Union has provided much to the United Kingdom for the past 40 years and more. The basis of all that has been the peace which we have all enjoyed for so long. Listen to Keith Brown, Deputy Leader of the SNP, former Royal Marines Commando.
Within the EU for 70 years. Now, that might seem like a trivial thing to some people because if you've not experienced war, you just take peace for granted. But you tried the absence of peace. You tried being in Croatia, Dubrovnik, in 1995, and you'll soon realise how valuable a thing that was. That's a cornerstone of why I support Scotland's right to choose to remain in the European Union.
Some will say that they do not want the European Union. Get independence just to give it back to Brussels? Well, that is a misunderstanding of what the European Union is and what it does. The English nation must still want something from Scotland. It must see Scotland as something valuable. Otherwise, why would they not let it go? Scotland, they say, is subsidised by the rest of the UK. Well, if that is the case, and they would like to save their money by letting Scotland go, why will they not let go? If history is a record of what has happened, then books will show exactly what English governments of the past have done to keep that which they want to keep. Currently, Scotland has no armed forces. Defence is a reserved matter. Currently, Scotland needs to create new and improved connections to other parts of the world so that we do not have to rely on the services provided in England. Many people want to use the 2021 elections as a referendum on Scottish independence. Fair enough, but elections for parliaments always cover more issues than one. Some want an unofficial referendum that is then tested in the courts. The question is then if the courts do not find in favour of independence. A short time ago, Patricia Gibson took the lead in a debate in the Westminster Parliament about the claim of right. It is hard to think that any group other than the SNP in the Parliament took the debate seriously.
Speaker, tonight I rise to remind the House that the claim of right for Scotland is a principle which recognises that the people of Scotland have the sovereign right to determine the form of government best suited to their needs. This is a right well established and was first set out in the Declaration of Arbroath in 1320 and most recently endorsed by the House in the Commons in July 2018, a debate which I was privileged and proud in which to speak. In Scotland, this House is not recognised as sovereign. The people of Scotland are sovereign, and they are angry that this House, this government, is overreaching itself by trampling all over Scotland's devolution settlement.
The question has to be, would Westminster take any court judgment seriously?
I think particularly in Scotland, the choice between Conservatives who would lock us into Brexit Britain and lock us into the boot of Boris Johnson's car, saying that democracy in Scotland has ended, or to support SNP, to have the right to choose our own future. People will decide whether they believe in independence or not, but to tell us that we cannot have any choice is just anti-democratic.
Send letters and emails to your MSP, your MP, to Westminster and Johnson. Make your list and ask the question, what do you think about the idea of an independent Scotland? Then you say, why do you say that? Support the SNP and the Scottish Greens. Once you have gone through your list, ask the question of strangers you meet.
Holyrood.